Okay, so I'm Michelle Hill, your legacy builder at Winning Proof, and welcome to my kickoff live stream. I'm still getting used to doing these, so you're just going to have to kind of join along. So I'm calling these Winning Proof Unscripted. And that's what we'll be doing during these segments, is just interviewing some of my clients, seeing what they've been doing, talking to them about their book journey. And Grayson Marshall Jr. is my first guest, and I am so thrilled to have him on. His book, well, he has 3 books. And so I'm going to let Grayson first introduce himself and just kind of tell a little bit about your the 3 books and what birthed them.
You got it. Well, I'm Grayson Marshall Jr. I am called the Meta-Cognition Maven. I'm the guy to get you to believe in you. The real GM for most people that follow me on social media. And I kind of got into the book writing because I really believe that in today's world of speaking, books are now your business card. So I think that people who are actually wanting to share a story, a message, an opinion, a belief system, now they're putting it in a book, obviously paperback, but also hardback, and now even in audiobooks, because I think that there's never an opportunity that you should not be growing. There's never an opportunity you should not be getting more information. And I think books are a significant place to do that. I was told at one time, you want to hide something from somebody, put it in a book. So I think that there's a differentiator there, which comes from successful people. And successful people build networks, and people who build networks have to have information to do just that.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And what would you say is the biggest lesson you learned while writing all 3 books, or were there different lessons for each book?
No, I think the biggest lesson is that be committed to getting it done. I think that's a part of it, and taking the time to focus on doing that. And the other thing is solicit and enlist the skills and talents of other people. That's why so many people come to Winning Proof, because of what you provide for them that allows them to be the author and the facilitator, the progenitor, but allows the team to work. And I think in every aspect, no matter whether it's corporate or small business, there has to be some sort of team. And you present with the people that you bring in with you and that you give them access to. You bring a team concept so that it can get out the right way, it can get out in a timely manner, and be done decently and in order, and as well as it could possibly be done.
Oh, something's flying around.
That's coronavirus. I think I just got hit by it. Coronavirus. But anyway, go ahead.
Okay. Well, now your last book, your second half, yep, which is just so much great information. I have one back there too. What are the 3 main takeaways when a reader picks up your book? What are the 3 main takeaways they can get from reading that book in particular?
I think the first, if I had to take 3, there's probably more than that, but the 3, if I had to take away, number 1, accountability. I think the first thing that people, and this book is about transitioning life after sports, and it's not just for athletes, but the reality of it is that everybody comes to a second half. And in the world that we live in today, with people's lives in corporate America not being as long as they used to be, they're not being pensions like they were back in the 60s and 70s. I think people are now understanding that I do have to start over. Second half is related to work. It's related to relationships. There's an opportunity usually in life to start over. And how do I do that? So accountability is the first piece. And starting over, I've got to be accountable. I've got to own every piece of it. And so that's a big piece of where it is. We tend to project the inability for us to move on other people. And what we do is we literally give them the control over our life going forward, which we should not do. And it's not a positive thing for us. But we have to, and when we do finally take on the ownership of it, it allows us to be free. We accept our choices. We accept our behavior in there, even if they were a contributing factor, even if the situation, Michelle, was something that was unavoidable by you, you still have to own your space in it, because it's what releases you and allows you to move forward. The second key that they can take away is present moment living in the present moment. I think what a lot of people do is a lot of people, even going into the second half, tend to think about what they did before or what they could have done better. And they focus on their past. and their past is a reference, not a residence. They don't live there. They shouldn't live there. So live in present moment. What can I do right now? What can I do today? We're having this conversation right now, and it's really about what's going on right now. What are you doing right now? What's the next thing? Living present moment. We tend to live in the past, and unfortunately, with what's going on in the world today, there's a lot of remembrance of the past. There's a lot of acknowledgement. There's a lot of going back to the past in the world we live in today. So it's not just a few people. It's the nature of the global world, revisiting, going back over, holding on to. And what you hold on to, you can never let go, and I can't be blessed. If I'm holding on to this, then I can't be blessed with something new. So I think that's why living in the present moment is so key. And then I think the third takeaway out of the book is finding the good in everything. I think one of the things that I talk about is finding the good in everything that's happened. The only person that can label something good or bad is you. You have that power. So if you can have a good day tomorrow or a bad day, which one would you choose? Most people tell me they choose a good one. So then why would you ever have a bad one? Well, things happen. Well, you told me it was your choice. And it's how you respond to what's happened is the key. So those are 3 takeaways. I mean, there's more in the book, but those are 3 takeaways from the book that will really give you insight on what I believe are keys to you having a better second half.
Okay, that's great. And you've done 3 books, as we've said, and you know definitely that writing a book and getting it published is not for the faint-hearted.
No, definitely not. No,
definitely. So how did you stay positive and motivated through the book writing and publishing journey?
Well, I think, again, it has to be a passion, and speaking is my passion. So, again, I realized that building a speaking business, building a speaking platform has to have some ancillary parts of it, has to have some other aspects of it. And again, the new business card of the speaker is their book. So if you're going to speak, if that's your passion, and it's literally a requirement now, it's not a mandate, but it is a requirement of speaking, then you have to get out and at least do one. It literally allows you to present what it is that you do. And for some people, it legitimizes their ability to speak. If I have a book, see, if I have a book, then you're important. If you've written a book, then somebody must at least listen to you or want to know what you're saying. And so I think that in a world where people have to be validated, unfortunately, people have to, or the desire for people to be respected or introduced to certain segments, the book is a way to do that. It's been a wonderful thing for me because of my background. It just allows me one more tentacle to have at my disposal for people so that they can and we can connect and grow that way.
Yeah, absolutely. So what have you been doing since your last book, your second half?
Actually redesigned all the covers, and I'll tell you why. I was working with oh my God, TC Bradley, and TC does a show called The Billion. What is it called? Oh my God, I just lost it. Has something to do with a billionaire, but he's a Christian marketing guy, and he does a show. And he said, "Grayson, I love your books." He said, "But where are you?" And I said, "TC, I don't know what you mean." He said, "Where are you?" I said, "I have no idea what you're talking about." He says, "Well, you have a smile, you have a personality." He says, "But I don't see it on the book." So what we did is redid all the covers to put my picture on them. He said, "Grayson, the best-selling authors in the world have their pictures on the book." And it was one of the things that I hadn't conceptually dealt with before, because for me, I had always downplayed me being a part of it. I wanted the message to supersede, but he really worked with me in that space. And so I did not do that. So I went back and we redesigned every cover of the book. So that's one of the things that I've done. And it's proven to be an advantage. And number 2, I'm still working on books. I've got the new book that has already been dictated, which I'm getting all the information now, which is Bringing Home the Blessings, Learning to Earn What You Ask God For. So I'm really ready to do that one. And with all this stuff that's happened with COVID-19, I'm working on a new book right now talking about choice. But I have 2 other books. One is Selfish Success, Positively Putting Yourself First, which is a book directly related for women. I'm speaking to that audience because I believe that women in the mantra of the day have had to take on male responsibility. And what tends to happen is they lose themselves. And so they have to reinvent themselves in their 40s and some in their 50s. And they don't have to do that. Selfish Success is a book about how to maintain who you are while you're growing this life. And unfortunately, a lot of them are doing them as single moms, which they shouldn't be. But because of that, I want them to have something encouraging that says, you know what? I don't have to be the bus driver and I don't have to be everything all the time. I can still take time for me and do me, because when the kids are gone, I need to have something in motion for myself. Then the other book I'm working on, which really reflects a little bit of my personal story, is From Emasculation to Emancipation, The Freedom of the Empowered Man. And I talk about that because shame is a real issue when it comes to men. And I think especially in the world we're in today. So I want to be able to talk to them about that. What's the freedom that you have as a man, the choices? We have a lot of things going on right now that are trying to take the man out of the home, remove them from a position of authority. And a lot of men are finding themselves not respected, not relegated, not significant in a world, but yet we have a challenge when it comes to raising young men. And a woman cannot raise a man. So all these things are what's there. I've got new companies that we are opening up, just coming out of a financial challenge. So coming to the other side of that. So I'm just keeping my head up. I stay focused. What I've learned through this COVID-19 experience is my faith in God has done nothing but grow. And so the more that I see the waning faith of people, the more that I see people trusting in man and not God, the more I go to love on God, trust in him, and do the things I need to do in that way. So I see the other side of what's going on in my life. But that's what I'm doing right now. I'm still doing, I do my podcast every morning at 7:15, which is Good Morning with the Real GM. I do that. My show Monday on Roku, which is the Real GM show, real talk, real people, real outcomes. And so we do that. And other than that, I'm just looking for the next thing. I want to stay committed to growing and empowering people and challenging them where they are. My why statement for what I do is to challenge the mindset and belief systems of the status quo so that they can think differently, act intentionally, and grow successfully. So I'm just staying on that vein. If anything I can do, Michelle, that's going to allow me to do that passionately and lovingly, that's what I'm into.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you're talking, I'm noticing the jersey in the back and the frame and the basketball. So for those that don't know basketball, aren't from this area, can you explain a little bit about, you know, your athletic accomplishments and then how they've translated into your modern day, present day success?
I was fortunate enough to I've been given enough God-given talent to get a college scholarship. And that college scholarship allowed me to go to a great university, Clemson University in Clemson, South Carolina. I was a 4-year basketball player there, 4-year starter at Clemson. When I graduated from Clemson, I was the all-time ACC career assist leader. I still hold every assist record in Clemson history. I was named to the All-Century team. I was named 25 greatest players of all time. In 2009, I was named to the Clemson Athletic Hall of Fame. And in 2016, I was named an ACC basketball legend. So that jersey is one of my away jerseys from my time at Clemson. And I think that a lot of that had a lot to do with who I am today, because when I talk about second halves, my transition out of sports was not seamless. It was not easy, only because I was not prepared educationally for the small business entrepreneur mindset that I really had inside of me. So that's why the book was written. The book was written to talk about what wasn't there. Intelligence, intellect, vocabulary, articulation, all those things I think I had down. But I did not have a wherewithal of understanding how business worked. I didn't understand truly how money worked. I didn't understand the ins and outs of what needs to go on in a marketing aspect. There were so many things that they were not taught in school, and I did not have those mentors in my life. So I kind of swung at the fence. I kind of threw mud at the wall and saw what stick and what didn't stick. And then I finally grabbed a hold of, number one, a new relationship with God, but number two, mentors in my life that began to speak things into my life and create a learning curve that was appreciative, one that I totally delved into, and it accelerated, I believe, where I was going and what I was doing, and it's gotten me to a place. It wasn't without challenge. It wasn't without controversy. It wasn't without setbacks, but setbacks are nothing but setups. So once I began to really understand all of those things, stay true, continue to work on myself, then it became easier for me to handle. So today, when I look at things in 2020, I have a new perspective, I have a new approach, and the outcomes are indicative of the new mindset that I have.
Yeah, absolutely. And how have you, did your sports career really affect your ability to overcome challenges that you've experienced since, even in the last year? How did that play into that?
I think as an athlete, there's words that become a part of your vocabulary, become a part of your everyday persona: persistence, overcoming, bouncing back, starting over. We know that in basketball, the best shooters in the world miss 6 out of 10 shots, but you still keep shooting. The best baseball players get out 7 out of 10 times, but they keep swinging. I think some of the messages that go along with sports are reflective of, and I was able to pull on those when it came to what's going on in life right now. I tell folks in my books, I was competitive. I wasn't motivated. And I just wanted to be better than you, which leads you to comfort and complacency, because once you have climbed the mountain, then you tend to stop because you've conquered it. And those were things that I had to get a new perspective on. I had to get uncomfortable. And I think people that become successful understand what I mean by that. What's the next challenge? What's the next obstacle? What's the next thing I have to do? Now, you don't go looking for them, but you prepare yourself for when they come. I just did a podcast yesterday, preparation over planning. And I had a lot of people, the teachers telling me, asking me to pray for them going back to work. And I likened them to lesson plans. Lesson plans are what you want to get done today. And what happens is that when I'm not completing what I need to get done today, I tend to get anxious and frustrated and anxiety. Well, preparation allows you to be prepared for what you plan. See, here's the reality. It's hard to plan when you don't know the outcome and you can only control you. See, the Bible says in Jeremiah 29:11, he says, for I know the plans I have for you, saith the Lord, plans to prosper you and not harm you, to give you a hope and a future. See, he knows the plan, so he knows how it's going to work out. We make plans and we can only control ourselves. So if we understand preparation over planning, then when we're prepared, we handle what we can't control in the planning part a little bit better. So there's a lot of things in sports. You don't know what the defense is going to do. They're going to switch up on you every time. They're never going to give you what you scouted them as, but you have to be prepared. If I walk into a plan and they're doing something different and I do not know how to shift, change on the fly, then I'm really going to find myself in a struggling situation. So yes, a lot of my sports career, a lot of the things that I had to do in sports or did in sports were definitely beneficial when it came to how I'm living my life right now.
Yeah, definitely. So, well, thank you so much. Do you have any final comment to make? Anything you want watchers to really take away from this time?
I think that here's one thing that I will say. If you are wanting to go to the next level, then seek out a coach. The one thing that I've learned is that mentoring, and we used to have that apprenticeships, we used to have the ability to learn. And remember this, that coaching is an investment in you. It should cost money. And there should be something that you're there. But use that. I've been fortunate enough to work with a lot of people to change their lives and do some of those things. And that's an exciting piece of it. But my website is GraysonMarshallJr.com. Connect with me on there. I'm on Facebook. I do Facebook Lives every morning at 7:15. The Real GM on Instagram. So I'm active on social media. And I would love to entertain and connect with you there. Convene Communities as well. I have my own community on Convene Communities, so you can find me on Convene as well. But I'm just excited. I'm happy to be the leadoff hitter in Winning Proof Unscripted, because you've done so much work with so many authors. And I think that it's time for them to give you kudos for the things that you do, the way that you work, the platform that you provide, the diligence and commitment that you have as a in whatever capacity they need, whether it's an editor, whether it's a ghostwriter, whatever. You bring a lot of what maybe they can articulate to life on paper, and I think that's a unique gift. So for those of you all that are looking for someone to help you with your books, I'm going to give my shouting, raving endorsement to Michelle Hill of Winning Proof. Bring her whatever, and it'll come out to something special. That's all I can tell you. So do your part, she'll do her part. But if you don't even have a part, she'll make it work for you.
Well, thank you. And I did not tell him to say that. That was voluntary. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you being on today. And you already told people how to get a hold of you. So I think that is it. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much, and enjoy it. And best of luck and success to you. And my new books are coming, and they'll be over soon.
Well, thank you. And Grayson will, on August 31st, be the guest speaker on Every Black weekly mastermind call. And you see that I'm posting that on Facebook, usually Monday afternoon. So look for that on August 31st, and you will get some more golden nuggets, because he is full of golden nuggets of wisdom. And you could really take off with what he has to say. And
I finished all the information you asked, so check your email because it's all there.
Okay, right. Wonderful. Thank you, Grayson.
No problem. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.